If you're interested in visiting some of the most haunted places in the world, there are quite a few to choose from. In addition to private homes, ghosts and ghouls are known to take up residence in all sorts of spots that are open to the public. Travelers are more than welcome to check into a hotel in which ghosts are rumored to roam the hallways, for example, or to wander a Romanian forest with a reputation as being the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania. If this is your idea of adventure travel, read on. Rest assured, these haunted places are worth visiting even if you don't come away having faced down with a specter. Below, we've rounded up some of the most haunted places in the world that you'll want to visit any time of year. Not just on Halloween, for their spooky qualities, but also for their architecture and history. Zvikov Castle, Czech Republic. Regular trains run the 2-hour route between Prague and Similis, a village in the South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic that is home to Zvikov Castle, a beautiful place for tourists to visit. It was also, and perhaps still is, haunted. This castle was inhabited until 1947, when it was confiscated by the state, and up until that point residents reported that a specter of unknown identity and motive occupied the structure's ancient tower. Today, visitors still notice strange occurrences. In one TripAdvisor review, a tourist reported that their camera battery died suddenly despite being fully charged. Such activity is concentrated in the tower, so scaredy cats can still take in the beauty of the castle while steering clear of any hostile presence. The Stanley Hotel, Colorado. Travelers have been coming to Estes Park since 1909 to take in the Stanley Hotel's stately Georgian architecture and enjoy its world-renowned whiskey bar. But everything changed on October 30, 1974, when Stephen King and his wife Tabitha checked in. The hotel was about to shutter for the season, and the couple were the only guests in the whole place. King was particularly struck by the endless empty corridors through which he walked after dinner. Of the eerie stay, King said, "The hotel seemed the perfect, maybe the archetypical, setting for a ghost story. That night I dreamed of my 3-year-old son running through the corridors, looking back over his shoulder, eyes wide, screaming. He was being chased by a fire hose. I woke up with a tremendous jerk, sweating all over, within an inch of falling out of bed." In the years since, the hotel has leaned into the reputation King bestowed upon it with ghost tours and a resident psychic. Hotel Kaj Jang, Australia. Of all the world's most haunted places, hotels are particularly alluring to us here at Condé Nast Traveler, for obvious reasons. Hotel Kaj Jang in Australia's capital of Canberra makes this list because it is haunted by, who else? A former Prime Minister of the country who once counted the Grand Building as his primary residence. The man in question is Ben Chifley, who in 1951 died of a heart attack in his bedroom. In the years since, staff and guests alike have claimed to see Chifley's ghostly figure around the hotel. If work was his life, it remains so in death, as those who see him report that he points toward the nearby Parliament House. The hotel is fully operational, well-reviewed, and indeed, located in close proximity to one of the city's must-see attractions, so the potential for a paranormal sighting really puts it over the edge for a certain kind of traveler to the city. Wachu Forest, Romania. Named after a shepherd who, along with his flock of 200 sheep, vanished without a trace in the forest, Wachu hit it big in 1968 when a military technician snagged a photo of a supposed UFO hovering over the trees. Some believe it to be a portal capable of transporting visitors to places unknown, with those who pass through and live to tell the tale reporting rashes, nausea, and anxiety. The curved, spindly trees that make up the forest are particularly conducive to a twisted feeling, as is the location in Transylvania, a real nexus point of abnormal activity. The city of Cluj-Napoca makes a strong home base from which to explore. Valley of the Kings, Egypt. Located along the Nile River near Luxor, the Valley of the Kings is one of the most important archaeological sites in Egypt and the entire world. The valley served as a burial ground for pharaohs from the 16th to the 11th century BC, though it really only gained international attention in modern times after the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun, King Tut, in 1922. The excavation of Tutankhamun's tomb was funded by an English aristocrat, Lord Carnarvon, who died of infection shortly after the burial site was discovered, launching rumors of a pharaoh's curse that continued to inspire works of fiction and mummy sequels a century later. Today, visitors to the Valley of the Kings sometimes claim to see the image of an Egyptian pharaoh riding a chariot pulled by ghostly black horses. Chuk Lagoon, Micronesia. What's even scarier than a haunted graveyard? Probably a haunted graveyard that sits 50 feet underwater. Micronesia's Chuk Lagoon, formerly Chuk Lagoon, served as a fortified base for the Japanese Navy during World War II, and it was attacked by American forces during a 3-day airstrike in 1944. Dozens of warships, planes, tanks and railroad cars sank to the bottom of the lagoon, where they remain today in what is known as the Ghost Fleet of Chuk Lagoon. The ship graveyard is immensely popular with scuba divers, with POTI dubbing it one of the best wreck diving destinations on the planet. Underwater explorers can swim up close to the wartime vessels, which are littered with weapons, gas masks, and according to some superstitious divers, a few waterlogged ghosts. St. George's Church, Czech Republic. Another entry from the Czech Republic, St. George's Church, about 125 miles east of Prague, was originally built in 1325 and boasts quite a history. The building was nearly destroyed by fires many times over the centuries, and its roof partially collapsed during a funeral service in 1968. After that event, the congregation became convinced the church was haunted and refused to enter. As a result, the building was stripped by robbers and fell prey to vandalism. That all changed in 2012, when an art student at the University of West Bohemia had an idea to lure visitors back to the church. A collection of 30 ghost sculptures sitting in the pews with their heads bowed. Today, tourists flock to the ghost church, which is open to the public every Saturday afternoon, to snap photos and even sit among the unmoving specters while praying. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia. The castle-like Eastern State Penitentiary took solitary confinement to new levels when it was built in 1829. Prisoners lived alone, exercised alone, and ate alone. When an inmate left his cell, a guard would cover his head with a hood so he couldn't see or be seen. The prison had to abandon its solitary system due to overcrowding in 1913, although the forms of punishment did not get any less severe. Chaining an inmate's tongue to his wrist is one example, before it closed for good in 1970. The site now welcomes thousands of visitors every year, both for its museum and Halloween celebrations. Reported paranormal happenings have included disembodied laughter, shadowy figures, and pacing footsteps.